Hey there. Thanks for jumping in on this Etsy review. So, just some context. I'm going to review your store. I'm going to be looking at originality, quality, how do the products fit within the ecosystem that is Etsy, so specifically handmade. I'll look at one product, look at titles, descriptions, I'll check for reviews, and then pricing, as well as the product photography. So let's get in on BD handcrafted decor. So at first look, to the swamp, okay. Unusual decor for the unusual home. I like that. That's cute. Keep an eye on the shop for new wall signs and new tissue box cover designs. We're always working on something new. Okay, that's good. You've called out what's going to be here, which is wall signs and tissue box covers. Okay. Now these are really cute. So I would say that this is an A for originality. Like, it's very different. I've never seen anything like this. Okay, now I'm just gonna pick one product that I think that I would like to own, and then we'll go over it. I think this is quite sort of cute. Okay. So let's just start with the photography, because that is the first thing. That's kind of like the easiest thing. So what are you doing well? You've got video. I like it. And you're using all of the image sections. So you photographed it from every angle, which is great. But I would say that this gray background is not really selling it. So I would definitely go back, and the way that you've shot the picture, like shot the box, is nice. It's like you get to see the detail on it, you get to see that it's made of wood, you get to see it in context. But the gray is sort of bringing it down. So I would just revisit maybe taking photographs of these boxes against different types of backgrounds, and also presenting them in the context of where you might use these. Okay, it's a beautiful box. Another pro tip is to shoot, if you don't have, a lot of people will say, well, I don't have a studio or I don't have access to a photographer, but daylight with a window can be really forgiving. So I would definitely recommend just trying that out. You can put it on a windowsill or on a table near a windowsill in a kitchen. But good work with the spinning video. I think that's very nice. Also pay attention to the detail, like how the tissue is also stylized, right? Like it kind of looks just like, I mean, I know it's tissue, but it just looks like scrunched in there. Like, take more pieces and make it like sing outside of the box, right? Like, you want it to look as best as it can. So pay attention to the small things. Also, this cream table, if you have something that you can put on top of it, that will also bring it out, right? Because you want the table to stand out and the box to be like vivid and beautiful. But I do really like the 360, and I've used this in other projects that I've had in e-commerce. So 360 is really nice. Okay, let's look at the title of this product and the description. Okay, so rose gold and oak with B square tissue box cover. So I might actually move the tissue box cover to the top. It's a small thing, but it just immediately clarifies what the product is. And then I would also do like a little bit of research, because sometimes we think things are called one thing, but they're actually not. So I don't have enough information on tissue box covers to know if this is what they're called, but I would do a little bit of research and make sure that that is the singular most, the main name of this. Yeah. And you have your description, rose, gold, and oak with B square. Oh, rose, gold, and oak with B square tissue box cover. Right. So maybe a version of that would be tissue box cover with B in rose, gold, and oak. Right. So it's a bit more clear. Okay. We see your reviews. Let's look at the item details. Okay. Grab just one tissue at a time. Okay, so like in the description, I just want to make sure that I'm not saying that it already has this and I've just missed it. Okay, so one of the things that I think would be important to me as a buyer would be to know the size. And it doesn't here mention how big it is, even though it's like, it's obvious, it's the size of a tissue box. Is it? I don't know. So you want to make sure with these descriptions that you're really that you're answering every question that a buyer might have about the product, because if they have questions, it's going to be harder for them to buy. So the more questions you answer, the better within this description, because maybe tissue boxes can come in different sizes, or maybe it's a bigger tissue box. Like this looks quite big to me. This looks bigger than a tissue box. So we want to find out, like, is that really the case? Okay. And then let's see. So that would be the description. I would just add more things in here. And then let's look at your reviews. So you're little skinny on, let's have a look. How many reviews do you have total? Okay, so I know this is a new store. You've only had 2 sales, but you have 5-star reviews. So I would try to see if you can get more reviews. Okay. So ask some friends, ask a friend to purchase, sell some things so you can get some more reviews, because the review count does matter. And we can talk about other types of review strategy another day, but definitely getting more reviews. And then let's look at this pricing. All right, so $35 to me. Let's see does that include free shipping? Let's have a look. Let's remove some of these things. Sorry. Shipping free. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of math. Calculator. Okay, I think your shipping is probably like maybe $8. So that's $27 you're making. See, for something like this, because I know it's always a challenge of like, do I include the shipping cost, or do I make the buyer pay the shipping? With something like this, I feel like a buyer would understand that the shipping is a certain price. So I would actually maybe try doing separate shipping and make this the 27. I'm not saying it is 27, but just make this the 35 minus the shipping, which would get you which would be 27, which I think would feel a little bit more reasonable for a tissue box cover. Okay. Oh, that one looks pretty in your profile. Okay. And then the other thing that I would say is, I think overall, 3 things. One, it's a really good idea but it's limited. And it's limited in two ways: by the aesthetic, so the things that you're painting on the boxes, and then also that it's specific to tissue boxes. So you're in a niche, and that is good, but you're also in another niche, which is kind of this witchy, this witchy vibe, which is fine. However, if you wanted to appeal more broadly, I would suggest, because they're beautiful boxes, and if you've got this talent to make these boxes, you could make them as like lovely containers, right? They could house anything. So if you wanted to just stick with tissue boxes, I would say diversify a little more in your designs. Let me just make sure again that I am not stuck in one section. No, okay. So diversify the designs, because you obviously you're talented, so you can do all sorts, and try to think more broadly about what people want and what they're looking for. So even if it seems like a cliche, but like botanical or stripes or Indian print, anything like that, okay? So that's one way you could do more and broaden your audience if you so choose. And then the other way would be and tap into people's interests, right? Like, what do people like nautical or like sea animals, coastal. Like, there's so much you could do with this that would also just broaden your audience, which you're like double segmented. So you're like tissue box, which is a segment. I've never heard of this. I would probably never ever search for it. It's something that I would discover. And then broadening, if you wanted, broadening out and thinking about what other kind of collectible type of boxes or containers that you could do that have this style on them. And I would even say, like, go smaller, right? So maybe it's like an earring box or a jewelry box or a money box or something, right? Because again, I don't know what the sizes are of these, but they seem big. And if you're going to put something that big in your home, and on display kind of, then it has to like fit in within your home, right? So I think you really have something, but it does and is going to take a little bit more definition. But thank you for letting me give you my feedback, and I hope that it was helpful.